Hey folks, Jeff Gonzalez with Trident Concepts, and today we're taking a deep dive into the best fanny packs for concealed carry. Fanny packs have been around in the tactical world for as long as I can remember, and they really haven't evolved too much in that time frame, but they are growing more popular. Basically, a fanny pack is a type of off-body carry option. It's a bag containing the firearm in a discreet manner, worn typically around the waist. Although sling bags or over-the-shoulder options are becoming more often as well. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. I still prefer around the waist, but we're going to do both of them for everybody's benefit. Now, I use a fanny pack regularly when my wardrobe or activities require an alternate carry method. And most of the times that's going to be when I'm traveling to and from the gym, or I'm working out, or I'm walking the dog, or I just want a self-contained grab-and-go format. I mean, it's nice. That's the nice part about it, is that it's a self-contained loadout that's pretty much grab and go. Just grab it, throw it over your shoulders, or clip it around your waist. And that's how I first started using a fanny pack. I mean, back when we still called them butt packs. I was deployed overseas, and I wanted to be armed all the time. When I'd go to the shower facility all the way across the compound, I was packing. I'd load my secondary into a butt pack along with a bunch of extra supplies, and then once the shower started, I'd hang it or clip it to the shower rod until I was squeaky clean. People thought I was crazy. and it was funny because until I started seeing more and more shower rods with butt packs clipped to them, I mean, it was just funny. It was kind of funny to kind of watch that transcribe over time. More and more people starting to do the same thing. So, true story there. Now, when I travel with my family, I would secure the firearm in a butt pack just to deny unauthorized access by the kiddos. And I liked being able to secure with the secure the zippers with those small luggage locks. I mean, it was great, and it gave us peace of mind. When I'm at home with a split level house, it's nice to just run upstairs in the middle of the night, sometimes buck naked with a full loadout. I mean, literally just clip it on or throw it over your shoulder. It was also a great way to secure the firearm when I needed both hands, such as in an emergency evacuation. I mean, thankfully, that never happened, but it was nice to know that I could use both hands to do whatever I needed to do. They are not without their challenges, and the biggest one is safety. In our concealed carry classes, I encourage folks who carry a butt pack or who are considering that they might carry a butt pack to bring it to class. There are certain things to look for and some things that we need to do to prepare to get the best performance. And honestly, that can really only be experienced in a high intensity class. You just need to get the repetitions to really appreciate the little nuances there. I mean, things like the muzzle's orientation when it's in the holster or during the draw stroke. I mean, that can be a safety issue because the muzzle can be crossing the firing line. Then also during the draw stroke, you may find that there are certain opening methods that place your weak hand in front of the muzzle. There's also the same problem when you go to return to the holster. So, you have to be a little extra careful that you are maintaining muzzle discipline at all times to ensure not covering your own body parts or anybody else on the firing line. Now, the other thing is that some of these fanny packs have all those pull cords, all those extended pull cords, so you have to be super careful that they don't get accidentally sucked into the muzzle, or into the holster, potentially causing a negligent discharge. The biggest safety concern is making sure that the trigger is always, always, always protected. And this is best accomplished with a Kydex shell or holster. There are some breakaway minimalist holster models that are not a bad option. However, in my experience, they don't create the best environment for a consistent grip. They just kind of move around, and sometimes you're kind of fidgeting to try to get that best firing grip. And one thing I've learned over the years is practice is your best tactic for deadly force preparation. There are some fanny packs that are overly complicated and time consuming to set up safely. I mean, to reholster just takes so much time. And it may seem insignificant, but it adds up quickly when you're trying to rack up those quality repetitions. You really have to put the time in to get a high degree of, let's just say a minimum level of competency. You've got to put in that work. Now, I want to share our methodology for assessing the best fanny pack, and it will center around how quickly you can draw and fire multiple shots on target. We're going to start by comparing the first shot overall time to a more conventional on-body carry method such as strong side IWB. The way we do this is through what we call baselines. Those who have worked with us in our advanced level classes know all about them. But for everyone else, let me take the time to explain. For the most objective comparison, you want to abstain from any live fire practice 10 to 14 days prior. You want to be as cold as you can get. This is a cold test, so no warm-ups. Course of fire is simple. On the signal, draw and fire 3 rounds versus an 8-inch target at 10 yards. All 3 rounds must be within that 8-inch target. If it breaks the line, no matter how big or small, I don't care, it doesn't count. Now you will have 10 attempts to complete 7 perfect repetitions, or you get 3 mulligans. If you can't do this in 10, that's it, pack up and go home, because it's not going to be a cold test. You're now training. Record the first shot and total time. When you've completed all 7 repetitions, discard the fastest and slowest times. Average the 5 remaining completed repetitions for your cold test score. Now, we can compare it objectively with others. And I know this seems easy. It's a lot harder than it seems. Basically, the final product is an absolute guarantee for that course of fire. I mean, under any circumstances, that is what you can guarantee if you are forced to actually use these skills. Now we're going to start testing around the waist, and once we've gotten 2 or 3 cold tests, we'll do the same thing with the over the shoulder. Again, it's popular, it's growing in popularity, and why would you choose one over the other? Basically, it seems more of a convenience factor, just throwing it over your shoulder versus clipping it around your waist. But what if one took longer than the other? What if the draw stroke for one was faster than the other? Would that sway your decision? I mean, that's what we're going to try to find out, because I don't want convenience to override performance, right? That's super important. Here are some preferred features or a brief consumer guide when selecting a fanny pack so that you get the best, or you have the best start. The firearm must be secured. Again, as I stated earlier, I suggest using your carry holster attached to the fanny pack in some way. There's straps, there's Velcro, there's a couple of other options available. And then I prefer the ripcord method versus the zippered pull method. There is a difference. The ripcord method it's not as sensitive to the direction that you pull, whereas the zipper method, it is very sensitive. You have to make sure that you follow the path of the zipper. Remove any extra long pull cords. You don't need them. You just really want one, because the problem that you will run into is you might grab a handful of pull tabs. And if that happens, you are not gaining access to that firearm. The other thing is you have to have access to your magazine for emergency reloads. So if that magazine is carried in an accessory pocket or pouch that you can't gain access once the main pouch or compartment is open, and that's probably a no-go. That's something that you probably want to avoid. Last is the lockable zippers. Now, they don't have to be the actual designed lockable zippers. The old-fashioned zipper pulls that have the hole in the end, perfect. Just put the lock through the hole. Now, how did it all go? Well, not surprising, the IWB was faster and more consistent. Why? It just secures to your body better, and it makes for a more consistent draw stroke. Plus, you've got probably thousands of repetitions. Now, my strong side IWB cold test is probably a little outdated, but it's still a good start. The first shot was 1.8 seconds and 3.2 for total time. And that was 3 rounds inside the 8 ring at 10 yards. I did 10 cold tests, and it took me almost a year following the protocol that I briefed earlier. And so it takes a while to do this. Now, my first shot from the fanny pack was 2.5 seconds. Total time was 3.1. Don't get overly alarmed, because I've only completed 1 cold test with a fanny pack, so not really conclusive by any means. But at a minimum, we want 2.5 second draw to first shot for any carry method. Doesn't matter. On body, off body, on a nightstand, in a lockbox, 2.5 seconds. Because anything longer than that, and you are significantly working against the power curve. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Let me know your comments or observations down below. Plus, if you have a fanny pack you want us to test, send us a link or post a link in the comments, and we'll see about a future review. Until then, I'm Jeff Gonzalez. Stay safe or be dangerous. Adios.